Loitering is the act of remaining in a particular public place for a protracted time without an apparent purpose. Under certain circumstances, it is illegal in various jurisdictions. Prohibition and history. Loitering may be prohibited by local governments in several countries. Loitering prohibitions are particularly common in the United States and Australia. Local areas vary on the degree to which police are empowered to arrest loiterers. Limitations on their power are sometimes made over concerns regarding racial profiling. In many places loitering is a crime in and of itself. In other places loitering on public property is not necessarily illegal. United Kingdom, the legislation of 5/04. C. 83, an act for the punishment of idle and disorderly persons and rogues and vagabonds in that part of Great Britain called England, short entitled the Vagrancy Act 1824, was designed to prevent suspected persons and reputed thieves loitering about certain places. This was modified slightly by 34 and 35 Vict. C. 112, the Prevention of Crimes Act 1871, and by 54 and 55 Vict. C. 69, the Penal Servitude Act 1891. A Vagrancy Act 1898 was passed only to be repealed by the Sexual Offences Act 2003, and completely eliminated from the archive. The Vagrancy Act 1824 permits in Section 6 any person whatsoever to apprehend offenders and to bring them directly before a justice of the peace. The same section creates a duty on any constable or other peace officer to apprehend and bring them before a justice of the peace, or be charged with neglect of duty, punishable in Section 11 by a fine of £5 or 3 months in jail. The same Act provides disbursements from the general funds of counsel for expenses of prosecutors and witnesses. Classes of persons this Act was designed to dissuade, on penalty of 3 months at hard labor, include, unlicensed salesmen, common prostitutes, beggars and alms-gatherers, or those procuring children to do so, fortune-tellers, palm readers, obscenity mongers, exhibitionists, fraudulent charity gatherers, promoters and players of games of chance, persons with instruments of assault, persons with instruments of robbery and break-in, persons found in or upon real property, and others besides. United States, loitering for the purpose of prostitution is illegal in all U.S. states. In 1992, the city of Chicago adopted an anti-loitering law, aimed at restricting gang-related activity, especially violent crime and drug trafficking. The law, which defined loitering as remain in any one place with no apparent purpose, gave police officers a right to disperse such persons and in case of disobedience, provided for a punishment by fine, imprisonment and/or community service. It was ruled unlawful by the Supreme Court of the United States, as unacceptably vague and not giving citizens clear guidelines on what the acceptable conduct was. In 2000, the city adopted a revised version of the ordinance, in an attempt to eliminate the unconstitutional elements. Loitering was then defined as remaining in any one place under circumstances that would warrant a reasonable person to believe that the purpose or effect of that behavior is to enable a criminal street gang to establish control over identifiable areas, to intimidate others from entering those areas, or to conceal illegal activities. In Portland, Oregon, a wide range of measures have been enacted to tackle loitering and related issues. In Canada, the Supreme Court found in favor of the defendant that loitering near a playground by him, previously convicted of child abuse, could not be prevented. In other words, the court found that Section 179(1)(b) of the Criminal Code for vagrancy was overbroad and his conviction was overturned as the law was now invalidated. Australia, police officers in South Australia may ask a person to stop loitering in a public place where they believe on reasonable grounds, that an offence has been, or is about to be, committed by the person or by others in the vicinity. That a breach of the peace has occurred, is occurring, or is about to occur, in the vicinity of the person or group. That there is, or is about to be, an obstruction to pedestrians or traffic caused by the presence of the person or of others in the vicinity. That the safety of a person in the vicinity is in danger. See also, Stop and Identify statutes. Homelessness, anti-homelessness legislation, Mopari, the mosquito, references.